I've been informed over the last couple of weeks that many in the congregation miss having a sermon title, because the sermon title gives them something to focus on as I'm preaching. So as I was preparing the sermon, I thought, well, just so David Reynolds will shut up, I'll make up a sermon title. The sermon title is Neener Neener.
Never mind. That fits.
And Phil's going, oh my gosh. I leave the office for a week and look what happens. And the sermon title really is Neener Neener. Have you all done or had done to you a Neener Neener? You know what that is? Everybody know what it is? Oh, you don't know what it is? Oh. I got a kind of Neener Neener this morning. Last night, March Madness is coming to a conclusion. And the semifinal game was Kansas versus Ohio State. Now, Kathy and I were born and raised in Ohio. So, by birthright, you're an Ohio State fan. Well, Chris happens to be a Kansas fan.
By birthright.
By birthright.
Not me.
Yeah, I don't, just shut up. I don't feel good, don't push it. So, for those that follow, you know Kansas won by 2 points. Don't smile, David. We got a lot farther than Michigan and UConn. So Chris walked in this morning, and being the loving, caring moderator of the church he is, the first thing he said, knowing I dragged myself out of my deathbed to be here today, he looked at me and said, how about that game? That, my brothers and sisters, is a Neener Neener. When somebody's got something to just kind of dig at you. It's not a full-blown insult or anything, but it's just letting you know, I gotcha. And I know what the real story is. That's what, in great part, Palm Sunday is about. It's one of the reasons that I feel very strongly that it needs to be a standalone Sunday. Many Christian churches will use Palm Sunday and they'll tell the whole Paschal story. And then the true meaning and message behind Palm Sunday gets lost. And that is, Jesus was really sticking it to the Romans. Now, one of the things we need to realize is that Jesus was an unbelievably brilliant and astute person. He knew what was going on. And he knew how to get his message across in many ways. He did it to perfection that Palm Sunday when he entered into Jerusalem. When a general, when Pilate, when a king, when Herod would enter into Jerusalem, they would enter into a particular gate. This was a given. This was where important people entered. This was where royalty entered. Jesus was entering into Jerusalem. What gate did he enter Jerusalem in by? The one that was completely opposite. 180 degrees different. Couldn't be any more diametrically opposed. When a king, when a general, when an important person entered through that gate, they did so riding a large white horse, almost the size of a Clydesdale. You've seen them on TV? You ever seen them live? Well, we lived there with them, and those suckers are big. Those are some big animals. And you would be on them. Why? Because the bigger the animal you rode in on, the more important you were. And if you were really important, if you were the emperor and you were riding in, your horse was white. Only person in the Roman Empire that could ride a white horse was the emperor or someone that the emperor gave special permission to, which would usually be a general that helped to win a significant battle. So somebody important in the eyes of the Roman Empire coming in this gate, huge white horse, Jesus coming in completely opposite gate on a donkey. Clydesdale. Donkey. Clydesdale. Donkey. Completely 180 degrees different. The emperor, the king, the important person, the general comes in, and they just don't ride in. Nicole's our emperor. She comes in, she just doesn't come in, everybody goes, oh look, there's Nicole. Nicole comes in as our emperor. What is surrounding her? Okay, this is not a rhetorical question. Emperor, everybody, right? Her followers, who is everybody. Emperor comes in. Emperor surrounded by guards. She's there. The president just came to our fair state. Did you watch the news coverage? No, you didn't. You were too busy probably playing video games, right?
No.
That doesn't help you.
Did you watch the coverage?
Yes.
What happened to Burlington?
Shut down.
Shut down. When we lived in Cleveland, much bigger city than Burlington, the president would come. They would shut it down because the president was coming. What happens when the emperor came? The city shut down. Very good. Everything came to a stop and everything focused on the emperor. Jesus, yeah, that's right. Now we say it, Hosanna. Thanks. Wait till I have you in confirmation. Jesus comes in, completely different gate, on a donkey. Who's there with him?
Children.
Children! What is the absolute least important commodity that existed in the Roman Empire? Children! Slaves could do work. Children you had to feed and support. You, my dear boy, would have been worthless.
Would have been?
I told you not to mess with me.
I owned your house.
Kids! And behind the kids, peasants. Nicole walks through. Everybody's paying attention. Whole town shuts down. They're waving huge gobs of peacock feathers and golden statues and shields and everything. It's flashing. Jesus is coming by completely opposite side of the town on a donkey with worthless kids and peasants, and they're throwing down their dirty, stinky, holy laundry and palms. Where do you get palms? See, I don't ask hard questions. Off the tree. Where are the trees? Everywhere beside the road. Who can get them? Anybody can. Who is part of the emperor's entourage?
Special people.
Important people that the emperor wants. Who's part of Jesus' entourage? Anybody. Very, very special people. Anybody. Including peasants and children. And sick people. Jesus did this knowing that Emperor Nicole, don't let it go to your head either. That Emperor, you just happen to be right there, that's it. Nicole will never sit there again, I guarantee you. That Emperor Nicole is going to hear what's going on. She's going to know who is this? He's just spit in my eye, is what he's done. He's had a parade, and thousands of people have turned out to watch, and they're happy, and they're singing, Hosanna! But you have the right word, but we could have a little bit. It was because you weren't paying attention. I'm going to the headmaster on Monday. Let's try this again. So Jesus has this group coming, and not only are they happy, but they're yelling, Hosanna! Who did you yell Hosanna for? The emperor!
What?
Not this insignificant nobody. What happened that day? This is the event. This Palm Sunday procession. This is what catalyzed the Romans against Jesus. It was this seemingly insignificant procession that set Jesus against the will and might of the Roman Empire. It was this small parade where Jesus said to them and to everyone, theirs may be the power that rules the world. Theirs may be the might that conquers people and nations. But this is the power that changes lives. This is the power that rules in people's hearts. You can have all the armies and the glory and the power and the gold that you want. But this is the way of God. It's not for the privileged few. It is for any and all, including and especially those most marginalized by the powers of the emperor, the children, the infirm, the poor, the uneducated, the disenfranchised. These were the people that followed Jesus. These were the people that came in the wrong gate. These were the people that followed the donkey and not the war horse. These were the people that waved the palms and their cloaks that they took off, and not shields of gold and silver. These were the people that were led by the children and not by the warriors. These were the people of God. This one that they followed, he was saying to the whole world, it is not the powers of Rome that rules, but the powers of God. And as we go through the week, through Maundy, Thursday, through the sorrow and the pain and torture of Good Friday, leading us to the glory of Easter. It is this man that says, this power of humanity cannot defeat the power of God. That's what Palm Sunday is all about. It is the beginning It is when the people shouted, Hosanna. So as we go through this week, let us remember the lessons of Palm Sunday. Let us remember the message that Jesus brought, that Jesus deliberately invoked to them. And let us hear it as it speaks to us today. Let us remember that today, just as then, all too often we follow behind and cheer the powers of the world. The might, the rich, the strong, the powerful. Let us remember that we are called to follow the one who came in on a donkey through the back entrance, followed by those that nobody else wanted. And remember, the whole time, I truly believe this with all my heart, with all my being. The whole time that this was happening, Jesus was giving thanks to God. And because of his humanity, because he was as we are, that he had to be thinking of the emperor, of the Roman rulers, of King Herod himself, and in the back of his mind he was saying, neener, neener.